Stephen A. Smith questions Noah Lyles' credibility after NBA stars end world champions debate. Noah Lyles sure is something. While the name might not have been that familiar within hoops spaces, it sure has made it to the top of the list now. The hardworking American sprinter with asthma made for a heart-rending backstory, effectively turning Lyles into a household name. However, the 27-year-old seems to have a tense relationship with basketball. Suffice it to say, whatever brownie points he's accumulated over the years as a U.S. athlete are slowly declining. From refusing to accept the invitation to Anthony Edwards' shoe event to backing out of the 4x100 meters race, Noah was neck-deep with backlashes pouring in from practically everywhere. But perhaps the most damaging was the world champions of what remark. And appearing with an adequate answer this time was none other than Stephen A. Smith. The veteran analyst practically skinned Lyles with his offhand yet biting comments. When you talk as much smack as Noah Lyles does, we don't want to hear about COVID. I know his team's making a big deal about it. I mean, he won bronze in the 200 meters. He withdrew from the 4x100 meters relays because he was sick. Certainly nobody is questioning the legitimacy of his illness or anything like that. I certainly don't mean to imply that, he pointed out on The Stephen A. Smith Show.
Did you miss me? Well, I missed y'all. Because, boy, do I got a lot to talk about. I saw Steph Curry put on that show in the gold medal game. In the semifinals, I might add. I saw Team USA, the women's basketball team, handle their business. It was a thriller. It made me nervous, but they handled their business. I saw the gymnastics, Simone Biles and the crew. I saw track and field with Noah Lyles. I saw it all. And I also see what's going on out here in the real world. I'm all over the place. Even though I was gone, I was never gone, y'all. I'm in the house, the Stephen A. Smith Show in the house. Back at you! Vacation is over! Holla at your boy!
The smack that Stephen A. is referring to is none other than Lyles' infamous dig at the NBA almost a year ago. Apparently, after watching the NBA Finals, the Olympic gold medalist didn't find it right that they called themselves world champions. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong, I love the US, at times, but that ain't the world, he famously said. Team USA, for its part, was biding its time, and after winning their 5th straight gold in Paris, they decided to pay Lyles and his comments a visit. Taking to X, USAB's official account posted, "Are we the world champs now?" alongside a picture of Steve Kerr's side posing with their medals, no doubt a message for Lyles. While many came out in support of Noah Lyles' statement, Smith believes the NBA can certainly refer to themselves as world champs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do at the very least 3 times a week over the digital airwaves of YouTube. I missed the hell out of y'all. I ain't gonna front. I missed y'all, all right? And I'm so happy to be back in the saddle, ready to get this party started for the upcoming NFL season, the NBA season, which is now just a couple of months away, now that the Olympics are over, along with a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world, including politics, because the election is just a few months away as well. There's so much stuff to get into. Obviously, I want to take a moment to thank all my followers, subscribers. We've now eclipsed over 757,000 subscribers. We just keep on coming, y'all. The momentum keeps on building because of y'all. Keep the love coming. I'm going to keep on coming. And by the way, just to make sure, if you want to continue to like and follow the show, just click the bell. And obviously, you too will be the latest member of the Stephen A. Smith Show family. And don't forget to pick up a copy of my New York Times best-selling book, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes, now in paperback. Just go to straightshooterbook.com. Once again, that's straightshooterbook.com to get a copy of my New York Times bestseller. I got to get right into it because I got to give props to Team USA. You know, I have told y'all on many occasions that Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that God has ever created. And damn it, he make me out to be a liar. Now, I know he was struggling leading up to the semifinals against Serbia and ultimately the gold medal game against France. But when all was said and done, 17 for 27 from three-point range in the semifinals and the closeout game for the gold medal. That's 63% shooting for three-point range, y'all.
Stephen A. Smith points out that the proof is in the pudding. Stephen A., despite his many wild takes, always provides a reason when calling out or putting someone on the stand. This was no different. So what were the first take commentators' reasons for blasting Noah Lyles' remark? Do you have any idea how many international players bless the NBA? Jokic is a 3-time league MVP. Where's he from? Luka Dončić is a superstar in this league. Where's he from? Manu Ginobili for years starred in San Antonio. Where's he from? Joel Embiid is from Cameroon, he pointed out. When you look at the fabric of the NBA rosters, you see players from all over the world blessing rosters. That's why they can call themselves world champions. Because the best that the world has to offer in the sport of basketball find themselves participating in NBA competition. Noah Lyles, Stephen A. said, directly addressing the man of the hour.
Before the Olympics began, it's going to come down to the ability to shoot perimeter shots, particularly from three-point range. I got to give love to a few people. I got to give love to Joel Embiid, who showed up like a monster in the semifinal game against Jokic and Serbia with 19 points. I got to give love to Devin Booker, who was a model of consistency in these Olympic games and the way that he played. I just got to give love where love is due, because it's important to point out Devin Booker, 58% shooting from the field.
Is that enough, though? By that equation, there would be quite a few world champions by now, wouldn't you say? Because, come on, which team, league, or club wouldn't want to dub themselves as the best in the world? But per Smith, the NBA can claim to be so because they have talented players from all over the world flocking to join the league. Bear with me, because we are going to take a different route here, namely soccer. England's Premier League is widely considered the top league in the world. Similar to the NBA, they can sign players from around the globe. But because the base of operations, if you will, is still in England, they are domestic champions at best, not international. Despite the presence of ultra-global stars like Erling Haaland, Mohamed Salah, etc., or ex-EPL elites like David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo, the winners of the Premier League call themselves just that, Premier League champions. Similarly, if we were to turn our attention to the UEFA Champions League, where teams from Europe, like Real Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester United, and more, battle it out, once again, the victorious team is either the UEFA champion or UCL champion. And it's not because they lack talent, but simply because they went head-to-head against European countries, not international. Right now, our NBA champions are the Boston Celtics. And nobody can deny the kind of talent the team has with all-star caliber and all NBA team players, and of course, Olympian gold medalists. They rightfully won that title battling other teams in the NBA. But there is a reason the N in the NBA stands for national. That said, the feeling of having conquered the world when you receive that Larry O'Brien, after working hard for it year in and year out, certainly justifies dubbing oneself as world champion. But it is difficult to accept justifying the use of the term world champions to describe a domestic league, no matter how globally acclaimed or how many international players are signed to the team. We want to know what you think of the whole shebang, though. Does Stephen A. Smith's reasoning make sense? Let us know your side of the story in the comments. Noah Lyles documented some unforgettable moments at the Stade de France recently. As his name was announced for the 100 meters showdown, he entered with supreme verve, jumping right onto the tracks. And as he won the 100 meters title by a 0.005 second margin, it further served as a boost to his high spirit. He flashed his name tag, Lyles, to the world, with cameras also capturing the motifs painted on his nails before he ran to hug his mother and girlfriend in the stands. Say something! He even gave a roaring challenge to his naysayers. Well, why not? The American sprinter had just shown the world his mettle. He was even unshakably confident of his 200-meter sprint before COVID derailed his plans slightly, but the confidence did not turn down. Ever thought what fuels him to put up this show? In a recent interview with Sky News, Lyles confessed, "I try to be a showman. Some people criticize me for it, some people love it. They're watching because they want to see who's going to be the fastest. And that's what I want to bring. I want to bring entertainment to it." He further adds, "I know that just because I win, it doesn't mean that I'll gain fans. I need to keep going." Lyles makes it clear that sprinting for him is also bringing a factor of entertainment to the tracks.
Life still goes on. Just this gold medal and this bronze medal, they're very nice to have, but that doesn't mean that my issues in life stop. I'm still going to be facing hurdles all throughout my life, and I'm very aware of it, but I'm always nice and blessed to know that I faced those hardships early, and I've been able to learn the lessons quickly. So I feel that no matter what I go through in life, I'll be able to continuously adapt and overcome any obstacles that I have.
Is there a message of hope it sends out to people who might be going through depression themselves, and yet you are here with 2 Olympic medals?
Always. I hope that they see that just because you're in a dark place now, it doesn't always have to be that way. And that even though you go up, that means you will also come down, but it's all about how you handle those situations.
Well, before both the finals, Lyles had entered the Paris tracks visibly pumped up, to an extent that fans questioned why did he do that if he was unwell. But in a Track Spice clip, Lyles was seen stating that had he not done that, he would not be able to encourage himself to be excited for running the race. He had even explained how vital it was for him to push his limits before a race in order to garner the mental strength to bolt down the tracks. Moreover, with the recent statements, his actions seem far from exuding arrogance. But behind this electrifying on-track presence, one that is too hard to miss, has been a childhood where he endeavored multiple problems, especially related to his health. Till the age of 8, Lyles suffered with frequent asthma attacks. He was even debarred from taking part in sports, while his mother Keisha Kane ensured a dust-free sanctuary for him at home. But gradually, things got better. With the help of nebulizer treatments and medical professionals to his aid, he was able to keep the asthma under control. Moreover, this wasn't all of Lyles' problems. Lyles was also diagnosed with ADD and dyslexia as a child, but it was asthma that seemed to have given him the toughest time. Speaking to CNN, Lyles had once mentioned, "Asthma definitely affects kind of everything I do in terms of health, physical fitness, sometimes even emotional, because if you're emotionally fatigued, that can bring your immune system down." Moreover, it was a culmination of everything that even led him to be bullied as a child. However, the dark days are now behind him. What do you think of his confidence? Let us know below. I have asthma, allergies, dyslexia, ADD, anxiety, and depression. Noah Lyles was grappling with his inner demons when he clinched his first Olympic medal 3 years ago in Tokyo. However, he came back stronger in the years that followed, hoping to redeem himself on the world's biggest stage. The 27-year-old made a promise to America to break the 20-year-old 100-meter medal drought at the French capital. As he stepped onto the purple tracks, all eyes were on him. Even though he was battling 6 medical conditions, the Olympian stayed true to his word. Despite a late start, he caught up to the favorite Kashane Thompson and Fred Kerley, claiming his first Olympic gold medal in front of a raucous crowd in Stade de France. Lyles' mother, Keisha Kane Bishop, was in the stands. She watched her son speed past the finish line with tears streaming down her face. Many eagle-eyed fans had even noticed her fresh manicure featuring both the Jamaican and American fans. Post being crowned as the new Olympian 100-meter champion, Noah Lyles went on to celebrate his win on X. He wrote, "I will tell you that what you have does not define what you can become. Why not you?" After soaking in the moment, Keisha spoke to Hearst Television about how she hopes people take one thing away from his win. "I just want our experience to encourage somebody else. That kid might have asthma, or ADHD, or dyslexia, or a single mom. Like, we want you to know that when you start is when you finish," she said.
Well, how are you doing? Because this is not easy to be an Olympic parent.
I told myself I'm not going to be a wreck. I told him that he was born for such a time as this. This moment was created for him. I told him to have fun, that we love you, but he already knows that. And just go out there and do what you do. I just tell people I want our experience to encourage somebody else. Like, that's what I really want. Some kid who might have asthma or ADD or dyslexia or a single mom, like, we want you to know it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Keisha Kane Bishop ran through the bowels of the Stade de France with an understandably frantic look on her face. Her son, Noah Lyles, had been removed from the track moments earlier on a wheelchair. She was trying to find him after he took third in the men's 200-meter dash at the 2024 Paris Olympics, but looked unwell afterward. Beside her was NBC track and field reporter Lewis Johnson. As they dashed down a hallway, Johnson turned around and gestured with his hands, making a wheelchair motion toward a volunteer who pointed him in the direction of the venue's medical center. Johnson later described Kane Bishop as distraught during his update on Lyles' condition. The 100-meter Olympic champion received medical attention on the track and was breathing heavily. Lyles has asthma. Concurrently, a rumor started floating through the mixed zone. Lyles had COVID-19. Soon enough, the news was breaking everywhere. Johnson ran back the way he came from toward his NBC camera station while speaking on his cell phone. Athletes from other events and those who took part in the 200 began trickling through the mixed zone. Some, particularly those who competed shortly after the men's 200, were clueless about the news cycle that had just begun. Noah? I didn't know, wow, said Jasmine Jones, who finished fourth in the women's 400-meter hurdles. That's crazy. Congratulations to him. He's fantastic for that. That's really impressive. Congratulations. Hats off. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that. That's because, Lyles later said while speaking with a mask on in the mixed zone, the circle of people who did know he tested positive Tuesday was small. Just his family, his doctor, and his coaches. Not even his teammates knew. He raced in the 200-meter semifinals Wednesday. I was going to compete regardless, Lyles said. If I didn't make it to the 200 finals, that would have been the sign not to compete. Lyles showing up to the mixed zone came as a surprise. His publicist informed the media he would not be speaking and that the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, along with World Athletics, would be releasing statements. He disappeared from the cameras only to suddenly pop up again on NBC. He entered the mixed zone shortly thereafter. To be honest, I'm more proud of myself than anything, coming out and getting a bronze medal with COVID, Lyles said. Overwhelmingly, the other athletes cared little that Lyles competed with the virus. The winner of the race, Letsile Tebogo of Botswana, first noticed something was wrong with Lyles on Wednesday. He noticed that the 27-year-old was wearing a mask and that the protection remained on his face during the pre-finals warm-ups. Not in his best shape, Tebogo said. He's going through something. A reporter then informed him that Lyles had COVID. Who said that? Tebogo replied. Lyles did. I don't think he put anybody at risk, Tebogo said. The most laid back about the night's drama was Kenny Bednarek, the silver medalist in the 200. From what I heard, he's got something that went on, so I don't really know what's going on with him, Bednarek said. I mean, I will probably talk to him after this to see if he's okay, which I hope so. But yeah, like for me, I don't really know. I'm kind of out of the loop. Bednarek hugged Lyles after the race and said he was unbothered by Lyles' decision to race. I'm healthy, Bednarek said. I do everything I can to make sure my body's healthy. Bednarek was asked if he had noticed an uptick of colds circulating throughout the athletes' village. There was a message that came out saying there was something going around, he said, but I haven't seen it. I guess I'm carefree. Lyles said he'd rate his health anywhere from 90 to 95% out of 100, though he wrote on Instagram late Thursday he believes, "This will be the end of my 2024 Olympics." He was expected to run in the 4x100-meter relay. He knew that he had one blow and that it could be used over those 200 meters. That didn't stop him from putting on his customary pre-race show as he bounded out of the tunnel when his name was called over the stadium's loudspeakers during introductions. He bounced all over the track and even knocked over Lane 5's marker near the starting block in excitement. It wasn't long before Lyles took bronze in his best event, and he laid on the ground looking up at the sky. Then came the wheelchair and a concerned mother looking for her son, trying to make sure he was okay. Even though Lyles' mother has been his biggest cheerleader, there once was a time where she wasn't entirely on board with his dreams. Lyles used to struggle with asthma as a child and spent years trying to overcome it. However, when he told her he wanted to go professional in 10th grade, Keisha wasn't too keen on letting him shift his focus from academics just yet. But when he proved that he was willing to put in the work in 2016, she knew Lyles would be okay.
So we were at the Olympic trials in June. It seems so long ago now, but it was just in June. And it was the morning of the finals of the 200 meters for Noah. And the whole year, we have been hearing so much negativity about how he didn't look the same anymore, and is he actually gonna make the team, and just all of these horrible things that the media was saying and social media is saying and things like that. So I said, Noah, let's do breakfast. So the morning of the finals, we go and do breakfast. And I said, this is the deal. I said, I heard TD Jake say something really powerful. And he said, when you grow up in certain communities, you hear statistics like, you're not gonna live past 25, or you're gonna end up in jail by a certain age, or you're gonna develop high blood pressure or diabetes, and that's your fate. And he said, well, people saying that is not the worst thing about it. The worst thing about it is when you believe it. And so I told him, there are people saying, oh, is Noah gonna make the Olympic team? Oh, is he gonna be the same Noah this, and all these negative things. I said, but we can let them say whatever they want to say, as long as we don't believe it. Because we write our story. They don't. Their job is to sell newspapers, and we're gonna let them do their job. Our job is to create our own life story. And he went out and he won that race. And it took a lot of pressure off of him. But I think the main thing I wanted him to know was, don't let other people determine your narrative. So that was the expectation part. Another thing I always want my children to know is, it does not matter what in the world is going on outside the doors of our house. You can come home, and that is a safe place. Because the higher up you go in life, or the higher the career ladder you go up, the more your underwear shows. But it's okay. We could wash your underwear at home, so we good.
Keisha was worried about the 27-year-old after his experience at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. The lack of an audience had left the sprinter rattled. When I see him now, I worry about what's going to happen when the lights and the cameras go away, because it's almost like an adrenaline rush that you get. Before he stepped into the 100-meter finals, Keisha told Lyles to take it all in and have fun. The sprinter went on and did so much more than that. He won. The world's fastest man will have an unexpectedly quick exit from the Paris Olympics. Just hours after finishing third in the 200 meters final, considered to be his strongest event, Noah Lyles said that he seems to have run his last race in these games. It also comes after his mother shared with NBC Olympics that Lyles had tested positive for COVID. I believe this will be the end of my 2024 Olympics. It is not the Olympic I dreamed of, but it has left me with so much joy in my heart. I hope everyone enjoyed the show, Lyles wrote in an Instagram post. Whether you were rooting for me or against me, you have to admit you watched, didn't you? See you next time. Lyles was next scheduled to compete in the men 4x100 meters relay final on Friday, but it appears he will not be a part of that foursome. It's been an eventful 5 days for Lyles. He came into the Olympics talking a big game, and he delivered right off the bat, winning the men's 100 meters final Sunday evening. Lyles was the favorite to win the 200 meters race as well, as he is considered the best in the world in it, but could not deliver another gold, instead finishing third with a time of 19.70 seconds. That was behind Botswana's Letsile Tebogo, who took the gold with a time of 19.46 seconds, and teammate Kenneth Bednaric's time of 19.62 seconds, which was good for second. But soon after the race was finished, his mother said he had tested positive for COVID earlier in the week. Lyles needed medical attention after the race, but it wasn't clear what the issue was or if it was related to his COVID diagnosis. Commentators said Lyles was seen taken off from the track in a wheelchair by medical personnel after the race. As we saw Noah Lyles being taken off there in a wheelchair, I ran down underneath the stadium to try to find where he was. I ran into his mom, Keisha Kane Bishop, who was distraught trying to find him as well. We found Noah Lyles in medical there being tended to, NBC Olympics' commentator Lewis Johnson said. The mother confirmed the diagnosis from 2 days ago, but Lyles opted to run anyway. He said he never considered not running in the race. Yeah, I woke up early about 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and I just was feeling really horrible, Lyles said. I knew it was more than just being sore from the 100. You know, woke up the doctors and we tested, and unfortunately it came up that I was positive for COVID. My first thought was not to panic, and we just took it day by day, trying to hydrate as much, quarantined off. And I'd definitely say it's taken its toll for sure, but I've never been more proud of myself. It's the second straight Olympics the virus has played a major role in Lyles' trip to the Games. He also won the bronze in the Tokyo Olympics, and he has said the empty stands and a year delay before the Games led to depression that he said hampered his performance and inspired his road to Paris. On Tuesday, Noah Lyles revealed he had tested positive for COVID. This was after the men's 200 meters final, where he finished third in 19.70 seconds. A wheelchair took him off the track. Lyles appeared for media duties wearing a mask, flanked by members of the U.S. team's medical department, but claimed he never had any thought about withdrawing from the event. USA Track and Field had made clear it was Lyles' decision to participate in Thursday night's final.
We have to start in Paris. It's been another huge night on the track at the Stade de France that saw such a dramatic 200-metre final. Noah Lyles, the man that everyone tipped for gold in that 200-metre, the 100-metre champion, was by far the pre-race favourite. But just have a look at this shot here. This is Noah Lyles off the USA, finishing in third. Look at the distance between him and the actual winner from Botswana, Letseli Tebogo. Absolutely incredible race. Let's get more on this story though, because there's some breaking news this evening that we have to get our heads around. We can go back to Paris again and speak to Miriam Walker-Khan. And Miriam, my goodness, how did this race play out? And tell us about the condition of Noah Lyles now.
Yeah, going into this race, Noah Lyles was a huge favourite after winning the 100 metres, and because of the fact that the 200 metres is his event. He did that long before he kind of transitioned to the 100 as well. He's got 3 world titles in the 200, and he was confident in that. He was hoping to become the first man since Usain Bolt to do the sprint double, and the first man in US history since Carl Lewis 40 years ago. And he literally bounced onto the track when they were announcing the runners at the start of the race. He looked fit, he looked healthy, he looked excited. We know he psychs out the other athletes a lot in races, but he looked very ready for that race. He got a good bend, but then he just didn't really transition off that bend into the home straight as well as we normally see him do. And like you said, it was Botswana's Letseli Tebogo who got that gold medal in a real shock of these games, I think. But after the race, we saw Noah Lyles being carried off in a wheelchair. He was wearing a mask as well at one point, talking to media. And USA Track and Field have confirmed that he had tested positive for COVID 2 days ago. This obviously isn't what Noah Lyles had planned. He has said so many times that he wants to emulate Usain Bolt and do that sprint double. And he's spoken so much about it in the lead up to this race as well. But he leaves Paris with 2 medals, one in the 100, that gold, and this bronze medal in the 200 metres. But there will be questions now over whether he should have run that race today, having known for 2 days that he's got COVID. People ask that, and USA Track and Field have said it was his choice.
Lyles, the freshly crowned Olympic 100 meters champion, was unable to keep pace with the gold medalist, Botswana's Letseli Tebogo, 19.46, or his U.S. teammate Kenneth Bednarek, 19.62, who took silver. Lyles' appearance in a wheelchair immediately drew speculation about his medical condition. The 27-year-old soon clarified his situation. "I do have COVID," Lyles said. "I tested positive around 5 a.m. on Tuesday. I woke up feeling chills, aching, sore throat. Those were a lot of the symptoms I have had before getting COVID. I was like, I need to test this one. It came back positive, so we quickly quarantined in a hotel near the village, and they got me on as much medication as they legally could to make sure my body was able to keep the momentum going. I still wanted to run. They said it was still possible, so we stayed away from everybody and took it round by round. I have definitely had better days, but I am walking around again. I was quite lightheaded after that race, and the chest pain was definitely active. After a while, I was able to catch my breath and get my wits about me. I am feeling a lot better now. It definitely affected my performance." In a statement, USA Track and Field said, Our primary commitment is to ensure the safety of Team USA athletes while upholding their right to compete. After a thorough medical evaluation, Noah chose to compete tonight. We respect his decision and continue to monitor his condition closely. The Paris Olympics has no mandatory rules relating to COVID and participation, meaning Lyles was within his rights to take to the start line. COVID has been a lingering feature of the Games, having affected Australian water polo players and swimmers from various nations, including Britain's Adam Peaty. Lyles answered a firm no when asked whether withdrawing from the 200 meters was ever a consideration. "I was going to compete regardless," he added. "If I didn't make the final, that would have been the sign not to compete." Still, Lyles' attitude will raise eyebrows. His girlfriend is the Jamaican athlete Janelle Bromfield, with whom he admitted sharing a bed while in the hotel. "Janelle said I was coughing through the night last night," Lyles said. "I thought I had a good sleep, but she said she had to keep moving me through the night to make sure I would stop coughing. I am more proud of myself than anything. Coming out and winning the bronze medal after 3 days with COVID, it has been a wild Olympics." No other members of the U.S. team had been informed of Lyles' diagnosis before the 200 meters final. "The only people who knew were the medical staff, my coach, my mom, and my family," said Lyles. "We tried to keep this as close to the chest as possible. We didn't want everybody going into a panic. We wanted them to be able to compete. You also never want to tell your competitors you are sick. Why would you give them an advantage over you?" Bednarek, who hugged Lyles after the final, seemed to have no worries about any danger attached to that. "I don't care," said the silver medalist. "I don't view those things as a big deal. I am healthy and do everything to ensure my body is healthy. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't get sick easily." Lyles still has to make a call over whether to compete in the 4x100 or men's relay. "I am going to talk to the 4x100 crew," Lyles said. "I am going to be very honest and transparent with them. I will let them make the decision. I believe no matter what happens, they can handle anything." Lyles later posted on Instagram, "I believe this will be the end of my 2024 Olympics. It is not the Olympics I dreamed of, but it has left me with so much joy in my heart."
Yeah, I have a feeling that no one was going to be able to stop Noah Lyles from running that race. Now, Miriam, before I let you go, there's been some history in the field for Pakistan in the javelin.
Yeah, Pakistan just won their first ever Olympic gold medal, their first medal in athletics, but a gold medal from Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem with an Olympic record of 92 meters 97, which is incredible. He wasn't the favourite going into it. We know that he's been throwing incredibly these past few years, but a truly incredible feat because Pakistan have only won now 11 medals at the Olympics ever, most of them in hockey. And I think this is just a moment as well, Jess, for the Pakistan and South Asian diaspora around the world, because a lot of the time we grow up as South Asian people being told we're too weak for sport, especially in football. We actually just released a documentary on Sky Sports News called Hidden Talent, where we spoke about the kind of stereotypes that South Asian athletes face. That is one that footballers hear a lot: you're too weak, you're too small. And I think having Arshad Nadeem, who is a Olympic champion now, throw that far in a javelin event, which is kind of the epitome of physical strength, is very, very exciting and something that Pakistanis all over the world will be very proud of.
Wow, what an achievement. Imagine trying to tell him, who's just thrown a javelin 92 metres, that he's too small and too weak. Absolutely incredible. Miriam, for your updates, as always. We'll see you tomorrow.